Imagine living your life after 50 and feeling energized and excited about your future. Welcome to the Women in the Middle podcast, the podcast for women who are ready to figure out what they want and create the life they deserve. Here's your host and master certified life coach, Suzy Rosenstein.
Hey there, today we're talking about why midlife isn't a crisis, it's a recalibration. Let's go. Welcome back to the podcast Women in the Middle. I'm your host, Suzy Rosenstein, your master certified coach and midlife mentor, and I am so glad to be here with you again. Now, as you probably know, I help women just like you stop wasting valuable time. My mission is to help you stop living like time doesn't matter, because it does. Today's episode is inspired by one of those things that gets in your way at your age and stage. And that, my friend, is feeling stuck. It can be super frustrating, and for sure, it is an energy drain, a big giant bummer, and a serious time waster. You know you want to get on with the good stuff, but it's not easy. It is not easy when you feel like this, and you can start to feel like midlife is a crisis. Now, I don't think it is a crisis. Instead, I've come to think of this phase as a midlife funk that is full of opportunities that you don't appreciate yet. Not all funks are created equal, though. That's the thing. But a funk can really throw you in ways that you may not have experienced before, or at least in a very long time. So in today's show, we're going to dive into all of this and specifically why midlife doesn't have to be a crisis when you're feeling all funky and stuck. It can be a recalibration. We'll be exploring all this good stuff along with a free quiz to help you increase your awareness about what's going on up there in your beautiful brain and how you can help one of your biggest fans. That is your future self, because she has your back and she's waiting for you to get unstuck. That is for sure. But just quick, I want to make sure you know about amping up your happiness for a minute. Yes, amping up your happiness. I'm excited to share that I have a fun new program for you that is just 2 weeks long. It's called the Midlife Happiness Jumpstart Experience. Now, what's so great about this is that it's all about helping you realize that happiness is something you can choose, create, and cultivate every single day. And here's the best part of the Midlife Happiness Jumpstart. It only takes a few minutes a day. There are no regular Zoom meetings because it happens in your email and in a convenient WhatsApp group with me. There's no overwhelm. There's no big commitments, just small steps that feel good and fun to do. The next group is starting on the 1st of the month, so if you're ready to stop putting your happiness on the back burner and start inviting more of it in right now, this is for you. Join the Jumpstart today. Head over to SuzyRosenstein.com and click on the Shop tab, and you'll find it there. There'll also be a link in the show notes for this episode. I cannot wait to share this happiness experience with you. Okay, now let's dive in. I have a question for you. Have you caught yourself thinking, I should be happier than this? It's interesting because when midlife gals reach out to me for coaching, one of the questions I ask them is if they're having enough fun. Almost nobody says yes. Now, fun isn't necessarily related to how happy you are overall, but it's something that I noticed that has totally made me sad. If you're like so many, you've done all the right things, you've built the career, raised the kids, been a great friend, you've checked the boxes. You've been a productive, contributive member of society and family life. But instead of feeling proud or peaceful, you mostly feel flat. Many of my clients call it blah, not to be confused with blah, 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 or its cousin yada, yada, yada. Just blah. It's such a bummer to feel like this, and boy, can it drag on. My sad, stuck state of affairs lasted for 5 long years, or 260 weeks to be exact. And as shocking as that is, it happened. It was really me between 45 and 50. I still can't believe it. So think about how this might be showing up for you. Maybe you're overwhelmed by how much you've carried for so long. Maybe you're discouraged because you don't even know what it would take to make you feel excited again about your life, about anything. I struggled with that too. Like you're so disconnected and not in that nurturing space for yourself that when you ask yourself what you want, it's kind of like, duh. Like you just don't know. Do you remember that from junior high? Duh. But seriously, you draw a deafening blank. There's nothing there. And if that sounds familiar, today's episode is for you. We're going to explore why you might be feeling stuck and what your future self is craving. When life feels fine but unfulfilling, it's easy to think that something's missing. But what's really happening is more like this. You've outgrown an old version of yourself. It's not so much that you're old, it's that your identity is old. You grew out of it. I know your feelings can be confusing when you feel like this. I know that because I was there. It's so easy to think that there's something wrong with you. Like if you were just smarter, you could figure it out. But it's not that. There's nothing wrong with you. It's not about being a mess or being lost or being hopeless in your ability to get your life sorted out. I actually think you're right on track. I think it's just that you're ready for something more, but your mind hasn't caught up to your soul or inner wisdom yet, whatever you call it that makes sense to you. Your inner voice. That gap can feel terrible. It can feel like confusion or emotional exhaustion or all of these, but it's actually a brilliant, meaningful pause. It's a sign that your next chapter is calling you, kind of like an invitation. What if this feeling of fine but not fulfilled is really more like an invitation rather than a dead end? This is quite a shift because when you're feeling all of the other funky stuff too, it can feel so incredibly stagnant and hard to break out of. In my work with women in midlife, I see a few familiar patterns that seem to be creating that stuck feeling. These patterns are pretty common, and it's important to raise your awareness about all of this so you can recognize yours. For example, some women are carrying everyone else's needs and can't imagine putting themselves first. It's a foreign concept, so much so that even imagining it causes discomfort. Others feel disconnected, like they've lost their spark or direction. Some describe it as walking through a fog or a haze, or not knowing what's next. And others say life just feels flat, like I mentioned before, or stagnant, or blah. And they're busy, but not fulfilled. If you see any of yourself in this, please know you're not alone. And nothing is wrong with you. You're simply in transition. So here's what I want you to hear. You're not behind, but something is off, and you're not yourself. You're overwhelmed and maybe a little confused about how to move forward. You're a human midlife gal, and you've spent years being everything for everyone else. You've heard about the invisible workload, right? The straight-up definition of the invisible workload is the unseen, often unpaid mental and emotional work required to manage and maintain a household, family, or workplace. It includes all of the behind-the-scenes stuff, the tasks, like planning, organizing, anticipating somebody's needs, all the stuff that is essential for daily life. But this stuff goes unnoticed until they're not done. Sound familiar? And it's no surprise that this can take a toll, and this is a big part of what you've likely been doing for the past 20 or 30 years, maybe most of your life, and while you've been being everything for everyone else. And for sure, it adds layers and layers onto blocking you from hearing what your future self is trying to tell you. I really don't think that midlife is a crisis, though. I really don't. But it is a notable transition point. And as I've mentioned, what if you start to think about it as a recalibration? Imagine your inner compass is recalibrating and sending you signs. Now that is a powerful thing and an important mindset shift to consider playing with. It's your invitation to finally align your energy, your joy, and your purpose with who you've become and also who you're becoming. Enter your future self. Did you hear her knock at the door just now? I wish I had a sound effect. Let's get back to her for a second. What is she trying to communicate to you? Well, she loves you to the moon and back. She wants you to get out of your own way so you can be happy. That is one of the most common regrets that people have, that they don't allow themselves to be happy. She also wants you to start restoring your sense of meaning and peace. This is all part of the recalibration. Honestly, I don't think she's waiting for you to start over, but she's all about waiting for you to be open to evolving. For sure, she's waiting for you to come back home to yourself. Anyway, that's why I created this quiz. This is important stuff. It's for you, and it's free, quick, powerful, and easy. You'll discover what's been keeping you stuck and what your future self is craving, so you can stop circling in fine and stuck and spinning around in your mind and start feeling fulfilled and having more fun. So go from stuck and spinning to feeling fulfilled and having more fun. How great is that? This is why the concept of recalibration is such a good one for us midlife gals. So go ahead and take the quiz at www.midlifequiz.com, because this next chapter isn't about fixing anything. It's about feeling like yourself again. Your future self will be doing backflips when she sees that you're on your way. Okay, that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Women in the Middle show. My focus as your regret-proofing midlife coach is to help you waste less valuable time and get on with the good stuff. Remember, being the queen of your brain domain is the best way to be. My friend, it is time to stop waiting for the right moment and start creating the happiness, excitement, joy, and fulfillment that you crave. Reach out if you would like to talk about coaching together. I've got several options that might be a good fit for you. Head over to www.talktosuzy.com and grab a spot in my calendar. Don't forget to check out the Midlife Happiness Jumpstart experience. What's so great about it is that it's all about helping you realize that happiness is something you can choose, create, and cultivate every single day. There's another group starting on the 1st of the month. Go to my website shop at www.suzyrosenstein.com. Click the shop tab and you'll find it there. Can't wait to welcome you in and have this experience together. And don't forget to head over to my new midlife quiz to discover what's been keeping you stuck and learn what your future self is craving. Go to www.midlifequiz.com. For show notes and links, head over to my website, SuzyRosenstein.com, and click on the podcast tab and look for episode 431. You'll also see a link there for my other show, The Women in the Middle Entrepreneurs, which is all about the reality of running your business when you're a midlife gal. It's also on iTunes, Spotify, and all the places. Let's do this, ladies. It's time for you to put yourself first, one thought at a time. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.